Alright. Let's go ahead and see what we get up first today. Oh, god damn it. The other Lemmings game. We're gonna have so many of these to deal with, and this will probably be the worst among them. So, yeah, this will be joyous. Okay. Fun, tricky, taxi, mayhem. Good. Oh! We have the choice between music and sound effects. We can't have both. And we also apparently can't have title screen music either. New level? Enter your access. Is that... what? I would assume that means... I'm assuming this is the password to enter, you know, to resume from a particular stage, but why is it called New Level? I have no idea. So, yeah, it sure is Lemmings. Oh, that glorious mid-eye sound. Okay, so... okay. Note to self, don't hit the select button. Select is, I instantly give up. I'm done. I am, noping out of the level entirely immediately. Okay, so we hold B, and we do stuff. Alright, so we have Climber, Floater, Bomber, Blocker, Builder, Basher, Miner, and Digger, as per usual. So let's just use one Digger and be done with it. I will say, and I think I did say in the previous Lemmings that we got through, the Game Boy Color Lemmings, as I believe it was, and we still have Game Gear Lemmings to get through. Oh god. Oh, that was a bad plan, but it's okay, because we only need to rescue one, actually. Don't even care. I am a huge fan of the Super NES Lemmings. I've never actually beaten it because, well, I'm pretty sure I know how to do certain stages, I've just never had the skill to do those certain stages. Basically ones in which it seems you have about 3 frames total to, actually accomplish the things you need to do in order to not have all of your lemmings get burned to death. So, I am a major fan of the music in the Super NES version, which I think is better than the version from the Amiga, which I think was the first version of Lemmings, but it might have been the PC. Anyways, the PC version has absolute shit for music. But, no, wrong button. Oh, really? Well, then that happened, I suppose. I forgot to save state. My bad on that. What? Why can't he be made into a digger? Can we only have so many diggers digging at once? Anyways, yeah, huge fan of Super NES music for Lemmings. Not so much of basically any other version of it. Like, to my ear, the other versions all sound pretty terrible. And, you know, I'm not going to be judging this Game Boy version for its music because it had, like, from the starting gate, it had 0 chance to be as good. So, at the very least, things seem to be working in this. It's a bit of a shame that you can't see more of the, screen at a time, but I guess there's not really anything they could have done about that. Obviously, a lot of these levels are going to be very squished horizontally and vertically, but again, that's just how it has to be because Game Boy. I will say again, also, the other thing I loved the Super NES version for was the two-player battles. They had some really creative stages for playing against one another, and that was one of my favorite things to do. I will also say, I'm saying a lot of also says here. Yeah. So far, these Game Boy renditions of these songs are not ear-grating, they're not ear-piercing or ear-bleeding. They are perfectly fine for Game Boy renditions of things. Obviously not as good as, you know, anything else, but they're not bad. I can actually recognize them as the songs they're supposed to be, so that's a good thing. Whoops. Didn't realize there'd be that much lag between click button and activate ability. So, one lemming has fallen into a bottomless pit, and as such he will starve to death, and you know, I don't know how much a body rots as it is falling down a bottomless pit. The, normal things like, all the worms and such can't actually reach it, so they can't do their job. One thing I am curious about, what's this? Because here we have... yeah, here we have that. Apparently takes a very long time to get to... and now it's starting to get to those ones. Alright, I'm being told from people in the chat that the body would indeed bloat and decompose, just not quite at the same rate. Let's see, we have 1 climber and... 10 climbers and 1 miner. Oh, right, I remember the stage now. Getting it confused and thinking we were already at the, stage for bombers, but nope. I just completely forgot the stage. Alright, so what does this do? Oh, right, that's the pause button. Get it? Because there are pause. Which... when we have an actual pause button here, why do we need the pause button? So yeah, normally the nuke button is for, you know, you hit it to kill all your lemmings at once. Sort of a fun way of doing this, the I give up button. And, you know, in cases like that previous stage where we had lots of blockers but 0 bombers, you would have to use that annihilate button just in order to actually finish the stage, because the stage doesn't end until all the lemmings are either at home or dead. Now then, would be kind of amazing if we could see how many of these abilities we had remaining on screen at the time. Again, that would be for better versions, that would be a thing. And the other thing I'm really curious about, and obviously it won't be a thing here because it seems to have been edited out, but I know that for a fact, for the Super NES, there were stages where the drop rate of lemmings not only could be adjusted, but had to be adjusted. Oh, we only get 14, huh. In the other versions, we get 50 bashers for this stage, so you can have all the fun with the bashing. Oh, okay, that makes sense, actually. A person in the chat points out that when you use the pause button, you can still move around, look around, do stuff, whereas, this pause button is exactly the same, huh? I guess it's just a carryover from other versions where it doesn't actually have the same functionality. But, yeah, in other versions, the pause button would allow for the Lemmings to be stopped, where you still would be able to move your cursor around and get ready to activate things, but the timer would apparently still be ticking down. Also, this is a really terrible version of this song. Like, it's still recognizable as a song from Mozart, but it is really, really off-key. And for the sake of it, we will just do that. But, yeah, there are definitely... yeah, okay, blockers and bombers. There are definitely stages where you would be able to increase the drop rate, so that, you know, instead of one lemming every second or so like this, you know, you'd speed it up large amounts, and it would actually be necessary on a lot of stages, because if you just left it at the initial drop rate, then you would run out of time before you got the necessary amount of lemmings through. And it would also allow you to, you know, on stages where 100 lemmings are falling out of the... whatever this even is, hole in the sky, you know, you would be able to speed it up by just, once you have all the stuff cleared, you then dump all the lemmings out and let them walk to their, location. I figure we'll get through the first 10 stages, show off all of the various things, and that'll be about good. Let's see, in this version... okay. Wasn't sure with this, difference... oh jeez, let's start it from back here, I guess. That might be too far back now. Yeah, nope, we're good. Okay. Do we have a blocker? We do not have a blocker. Lovely. I'm not even gonna bother starting a bridge here, because everybody's gonna fall in here anyway, so... did I just... somehow used 2 there. And, apparently that is a thing. You can accidentally use way more than you intend to, and I don't think I'll actually be able to complete this, actually. And yeah, my care level has dropped massively. Oh, he automatically turned around. That's unexpected. Maybe we will be able to finish this then. And again, this is recognizable as the song it's supposed to be. It's just very, very off-key. Okay, so then. Yeah, just zip that up a bit. There we go. And this is the one. This is the ridiculous one. Or is it? I think it's this, but yeah, there's... In one of them, I think I was able to complete the fun levels and the tricky levels, but in the taxing levels, there's a version of this stage in which you get 0 blockers. And so you have to pull all kinds of shenanigans to not have even a single lemming walk into the fire. Controls are D-pad for movement, A to indicate, you know, which lemming should be a thing. You hold B and use the D-pad to select which thing you want. And then when you let go of B, it reverts back to this. And then select is immediately give up, abandon, just end the stage. And start is just regular pause. This one. Let's see. I'm not sure that's gonna work. Nope. So, yeah, that's way too slow. I didn't need to click bomber. How's this gonna work, I wonder? Not at all. Let's just, abandon all hope and, try again. Now then, can we actually... Okay, so there's a thing. Well. Come on, I know it. Clicked. Diggers. Oh, that's Basher. Helps if I use the correct direction for digging. Down goes those people. And yeah, this is probably not going to work out. Unless we just turn... Oh, well, whatever. We can still save at least one person here. Good enough. Or maybe he will die before that. But that's okay, we totally saved enough people there. And, yeah, I'd say this is the first one where... Aw. First one where the game does force you to actually think a little bit. Because, these arrows, which are normally bouncy arrows, so it's kind of a shame they're not bouncing in this version. These arrows indicate that you can only dig going this way, and not this way, so you have to set it up such that you get a person digging through here, because you don't have nearly enough climbers and floaters. Speaking of floaters... There we go. You don't have nearly enough climbers and floaters to actually reach the exit, so... Oh yes, and that is a thing. There are other combinations in other Lemmings games, but here in the first one, this is the only combination I know of. When you have a climber who is also a floater, he will show up as an athlete. Okay, and then we can go ahead and blow up him. And that'll be about good for that. Oh, right, we had to wait for him to climb up all this way and float back down, and then get started on going back. Okay, so yeah, that is where we will leave off. Let's see, so we have an interesting set of stuff there. Yep. As mentioned, this is where... I literally just said that, didn't I? This is where we will leave off. Yeah, this is perfectly fine for a Game Boy Lemmings. I have no issues with this. It controls just fine. It's a bit slow, but it's to be expected of Game Boy, and the screen is really small for being able to see... You know, we would be able to see this entire screen if we were on the SNES or something else, but it doesn't have the Rock Bottom song. I am happy with that, because I hate that song. Yeah. Yeah, kind of recommended. Like, if you want a portable Lemmings, this is not the worst version, I wouldn't think. And, you can absolutely do worse in terms of versions of Lemmings than this. I'd still say, go play the SNES version. That is probably, you know, just my own personal biases speaking there. And obviously, if you had a version out there that has the music from the Super NES version and the actual ability to use a mouse to, you know, select things and do things while also having all the stuff on the screen at once, that would be my ideal version. If that exists, somebody let me know, because that would be pretty amazing. But, barring that, I would just honestly say, go with the Super NES version. And, yeah, we are basically done here.